Hey guys, Zach Calhoun here today. Hope you're doing well. This is the Entrepreneurship Fundamentals series, and I'm excited to share with you what is some of the most important elements to getting started that you need to know. So in the last episode, we talked about finding the pain, the importance of the sequence of your startup or your entrepreneurial endeavor. You must find a painful problem you are solving. And hopefully to qualify or to have the quantity, there's quantity and quality of that pain. So there's a lot of people who have this really high pain that if you can solve this, you can make a lot of money. Okay. So when you are searching or creating or working on your new idea, if you get away from the pain, if you forget about it, you're going to have problems. You're going to have like a lot of guessing take place. So I don't want you to have that. I want you to have clarity. So let's say, hypothetically, you found a pain. And typically, if you ask open-ended questions like, what's the most important thing to you now, you're going to end up with kind of some similar things in certain industries, okay? And you can help categorize or pin down pain in this category of your business, right? But prod in, ask more questions, tell me more is a great follow-up question when you're talking to someone. So your goal to find pain is to interview and speak to your customers. Speak to them. And you may find out, hey, this industry kind of sucks, actually. But anyway, so there also may be current, so after you find this pain, there may be existing resources or existing solutions in the market and that already help solve this person's problem or pain. This is what you want to do. You want to go look and research and dig around and say, what are people doing? What's some repeated language that some other marketers, other people are putting on their website, are marketing as the problems they solve? And then you'll start to see some patterns. So as you see those patterns, you'll be able to think through, okay, most markets are pretty efficient. They figure out what the customers want and they provide it for them at a price and a margin. So if a lot of these markets are efficient, then you can actually take their learnings and accelerate yours. So if you look at the top 3, 4, 5 competitors in the space, you may say, actually, there's probably about one really, really good competitor here. In the top other 3 or 4, I'm finding anyways, as I search all different types of keywords and ideas on Google, they're actually not that strong of marketers. Actually, their website, I don't really even necessarily believe. Who are they? They're kind of weird. It's like, gosh, put in some work, bro. That is what we call a market opportunity. If you've spoken to the customers previously, before you go off and do your research about the marketplace and what solutions are out there, you will have a huge advantage over most people. Most people will not speak to customers cold because they're too afraid. But you have to be able to have strength and courage to go to speak to the customers without any pride. Now, the reality is pride is your enemy. If you can just relieve pride and say, hey, someone doesn't like me, they hate me, they tell me F off, that's fine. Excuse that language, wife. But the reality is that most people won't do this. So you're going to have a huge advantage, right? So if you spend time interviewing customers, spend time doing the research in the niche and speaking to customers, you'll be able to now move over to solutions. And now you're going to research and interview solutions as if you were a buyer and work through their sales process. What's their forms look like? What information are they asking for? Why are they asking for it? Whether you provide a service or a product, right? If it's a product, well, they have 3 different sizes here, 4 sizes. Why is that? Oh, this size I wasn't even thinking about. That actually solves a certain problem that I heard, Beth talk about when I interviewed her. Cool. Oh, wait, actually, if I go do some research from a manufacturer, I can find all 3 of these items for half off. I buy 1,000 in advance. Well, cool. Well, can I sell 1,000? Let's go figure that out. What's my marketing cost going to be? How do I get that marketing in front of people with intent and buyers with intent, right? So now you have like a problem in pain, a product or a service, and you're looking at language and how this product or service is already being sold in the marketplace, what the price points are, and you try to determine cost, time cost, and the future margin. So what we're doing there is we're taking an idea from a pain, looking for how we solve it, and then also looking for, can we repeatedly and predictably from the marketplace compete? I want you to compete. This may sound maybe strange to the heart or the insides. Well, somebody else is already doing it. This is a common thing to say to yourself. Someone else is already doing this, so they've already won. That's just not how the world works. I live in the real world. The real world is this. If somebody else is doing it and they put in time and effort towards it, there's a market there. They validated it for you. Good. Less work for you to do. Because validation is more important than coming up with the idea yourself. And here's what I mean. If a customer tells you a painful problem, you found a way to solve it, you put those things together at a margin, make a transaction, you have now validated the market. And this is the most important thing for you to do. So if you're my boys, my sons, and you're a young entrepreneur, a young hustler, and you're thinking, I want to sell some lemonade on the corner, but I also want to include a couple upsells, like some cookies, or I want to include some special lemonade that only mommy likes. Or you want to, all of a sudden you go out there and you're selling lemonade, and people are asking, hey, do you have napkins? Sure, no problem. Here's a napkin for free. Next one's $1 or something like that, right? You can. My point is, like, as you are in the marketplace, that's a terrible example, but my point is, as you're in a market, you'll determine what else people need. What are add-on products? What do they ask for right away? When you solve a problem for someone, typically what happens is you create a new problem. That problem you want to solve. Sometimes you want to solve the first problem for free so that you can charge for the next problem. Now you have rapport, you have a customer relationship, and you can now go solve the next problem at a much higher price point and margin. So, in this video, what's my point? What do I want you to do? Previous video, we talked about finding the pain for the customer. Being very diligent, taking your time to figure out the repeatable pain you're trying to solve. In this video, now we're looking at the marketplace. What are they doing? How are they doing it? What's their wording? What's their language? What are they saying? And then what are they charging? Hey, person I interviewed, I found this company, a couple of companies that do this. Have you heard about them? Why have you already used them? What did they quote you on price? I'm just curious. Right? Or if they haven't quoted you on price at all, say, cool, if I connect you, and they solve that problem, can I hook you up with a binder's fee? Right? You can do this all the time. And then you could look at this product or the competitor's products and say, okay, how can I do this a little bit better? Because I might be able to do it a little bit better, and that's all I need for a very profitable business. And as an entrepreneur, that's gold. Freedom comes from that profitable business that repeatable and predictably solves a pain for a customer. So this is super important. You got to be able to do this. What are the customers doing? How are they doing it? Here's a great example. In the CloudPano world, CloudPano is a 360 virtual tour software. What it does is it creates 360 environments of places, and you can look at it in VR. It's an interactive media. You can look at a space in full 360, and it's interactive. You can put buttons on stuff, videos, elements. It's super engaging. The time on these virtual tours is incredible. Like, someone looks through photos of a listing or something, they just look through it real fast, they're done. On a virtual tour, it's like 3, 4, 5x the amount of time. The engagement time just draws people in and increases conversions, leads, and sales across the board for any product or for any home, product, property, vehicle, e-commerce store, anything. The engagement time is much higher. If you want to sell more, you need 360 virtual tours with CloudPano. As a service provider, if you're starting a virtual tour company, like, hey, I could do this. There's a lot of small business owners in my space. I can send out direct mail. I can knock on some door. I can do some cold calls. I can sell this service. This makes sense to me. Well, cool. Well, what typically you need to do is go look at what other people are doing, how they're doing it. And what you'll just soon discover is, oh, look, almost every website also has something called Google Street View. Interesting. What is that? You look around, you poke around, oh, it looks like that it enhances the Google My Maps listing because it has a whole 360 virtual tour environment. Cool, I get this. I see how this connects and brings value to the customer. Oh, and look, CloudPano can do this also. CloudPano started off as a 360 virtual tour software. We add on Street View uploading later on because our market needed it, right? It can help them make more money. So we added it on, right? We do the same thing. What's the market need? Oh, look, we're on the field. They also need this. So we add that. It just makes sense to us, right? You can also do this. And you literally, for $0, have achieved all these 3 or 4 steps I mentioned. You've isolated the industry. You focused on a pain. You found what the competitors are doing. And now you're going to find a way to do it a little bit better. And then next you're going to market it and you're going to sell it. Okay? Let's go into that next, because sales rules all, baby. If you can't sell, you can't be an entrepreneur. I'm sorry, it's the way it is. So I'm going to teach you how to do it in this series. I'll see you in the next video.